Hi, this is Kent, and this is Blues Piano Lick number 10. What I want to give you here is two things. First is a nice 12-bar introduction to set you up for going into the next 12 bars and starting to do your soloing and your riffs and your licks and stuff. And the second part is where I'm going to give a sort of a little introductory solo, a couple of part-way licks or whatever, so that you can, see how you would navigate out of that introduction into beginning a solo.
Hey, man, can I play some blues piano on your piano over there?
And then you don't really want to just sit down and just start playing these random blues licks that you've been learning. You need to have start a groove going on. And then, this is what you're going to be learning is how to put your licks together on top of a groove like this, and you especially need an introduction. So that's what the idea is behind this. We're going to use the key of C as first part of this, like we usually do. We start in the key of C. It's a two-handed deal. We're going to start with the left-hand part. You start with the fifth, like this. Then you keep the C down here. Doing it real slow here. So get used to holding that C down here just to keep the bottom in this thing. When we move it up to F for the second chord of the three-chord blues, same pattern but on F. Back down to C. Then you're going to go up to G finally. Now, instead of that last C part, we're going to do a turnaround, which is what we covered in the previous lesson. And now you know why I taught you about the turnaround before I showed you the whole 12-bar introduction. So when I was up at G, I was going. And that brings us back to the top of the 12 bars. All right, so here's what goes in the right hand with this left hand pattern. Different kinds of fingerings you can use. You could go, I'm sliding here, like we've talked about in the past. Sliding E flat to E. Now I could go middle finger, pinky here, and then middle finger, pinky there. Or I could go, and then I could go index 4. I could, just use those all the time. Or a combination thereof, like so experiment around and see which is more comfortable for you. So in the last part I went. Go up to F. Remember, the F in the left hand is. In the right hand we have F chord, a B flat inverted, top part of the F7 chord, back to B flat. So it's the same pattern, just transposed up to F. Go up to G, G chord, inverted C, top of the G7, inverted C, back down to G. So let's look what I did there. So to understand that turnaround, you could look back at the previous lesson, number 9. So we have, I'm going to try to play it slow here. Okay, so now let's do our little bit of a sample solo that comes out of the turnaround, just to get something going. And I didn't plan this out. I wanted to go with how I was feeling at the moment, so which is what improv is all about, right? I wanted to use, I was thinking that I want to use a single note to build some anticipation, which I like to do. Before you know, instead of just like all of a sudden start, you know, doing some crazy riffs all over the place, you don't, if you do that, then where are you going to go after that, right? You need to build up the excitement and, you know, come, you know, in waves and climaxes and all that. So you want to start out with something that builds some anticipation. Let's do it on the B flat note. Okay, so that might have been a little bit sloppy, but I think I captured enough where I like the idea where, you know, if you want to start on that B flat and kind of take it from there. Okay, all right, let's move into transposition of this opening groove. Let's do key of F. 3 chords in the key of F, F7, B flat 7, and C7. All right, that's the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. So the pattern. When we go up to the B flat, the idea is you want to do the root and the 5th of the chord. So the B flat chord. Then you go up a whole step and a half step. We go up to C, we have the root and the 5th of the chord. You go up a whole step and then a half step. Back down to B flat, we have the root and the 5th. Whole step, half step. If you're talking scale chord numbers, this is the root, the 5th, the 6th, and the flat 7th. Back down to here. Now, to translate the right hand part into F, you start out with the chord, the triad, the major chord of the 7th chord. So we're doing an F7, we have the major chord, and we just slide up. Let's say you had a different major chord like D. By the way, that is going to show as a G flat on my display, but in the key of D, This should be a F sharp, but that's just my display. Sorry about that. But you can't slide on this one, so you're going to have to go a grace note. Anyway, F. What you do is you take the triad, then you go up to, move up a half step here and a whole step here, which is in relation to the F chord. You're playing a 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, B flat. I call that fouring, which happens all over the place in songs. Going from the 1 to the 4, just like this. Now we go up to the top part of the F7, then the 4, and then the 1. That's how you figure the pattern on any chord. Okay, so I'm doing a slide, I'm taking the 1 chord, first 3 notes of that chord, of the B flat 7, then I do the 4ing on it. Top part of the B flat 7. Do the same thing up here on C. And we've already learned that, right? When we were playing in the key of C already. So in the key of F now we're going to have So I hope that's helpful. Now you have something when you're going to start out and sit down and start playing, you can at least get a groove going on. And then after a while, you're going to have this whole bag of licks to carry around with you that you'll learn how to incorporate them all together and begin improvising and go nuts. And that's the process. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for Blues Piano Lick number 11.